Morning, 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 Galamera, Galamera. How you doing? Well, the weather today has gone rather nasty, as you can see out of the window. Well, not very carefully anyway, but Jane's just doing breakfast for the cats at the moment in the house. Normally we'd kind of feed them with the door half open and half closed, but because the weather is just a bit naff today, uh, we've been feeding them inside, bless them. So there they go. There's the cats, uh, about 12 of them. So there's a big fella there is Graham. Then there's Herbert there. Then there's Sweetie there. Then there's Sheba. Over there is Georgie. That is, who's that? Oh, that's Nipper there. And I mustn't swing the thing over to where Jane is doing stuff at the moment. She'll get a bit upset. So I'm just going to switch round the screen at the moment. There we go. Right, so here we go. Right then, what is it? Day 11 of the lockdown. Woohoo! Yes, the date today, 17th of November, 2020. Been quite a bit been going on in the last 24 hours. First of all, quick look at the COVID figures. Yesterday we had, or in the last 24 hours, we've had 2,198 new cases of COVID, which brings the total amount to 76,403. There's been 11 new infections in Corfu, and there's also been one new infection in Kefalonia. Now, some more information has been coming out, reference the Zakynthian woman who tested positive in Athens. It seems that the woman who tested positive while visiting her daughter, all her colleagues from the regional unit of Zakynthos were tested yesterday by the Greek health team and were found to be all negative of the virus. So that's good news. Anyway, the regional health unit building, that was decontaminated on Sunday. And now that that process has been completed, all the employees there have now returned to their normal duties. However, in about 10 days' time, all those staff will be tested again, just to make sure they are definitely clear of the virus. And that was 100 staff, believe it or not, who work in that building that were tested. Meanwhile, more details about the Zakynthian woman are coming through as well. These have been made public, by the way, in the local press. She is in quarantine in Athens still at the moment. She's in a state of good health. Prior to her trip to Athens, she'd actually been in Corfu for official reasons. This is one of the jobs that she probably has within the regional unit, is obviously she has to visit other Ionian islands. Remember, the regional unit is the region of the Ionian. Anyway, also the people who came into contact with her, they've also been quarantined as a precaution as well. So her daughter and her family, they have been quarantined. Anyway, unfortunately, yesterday we've had 59 new deaths. However, that number is down on the day before where we had 71. The total amount of deaths now is 1,165 since the pandemic started, and the average age is 79 from people with underlying conditions. Now, on Monday, I had reported that a dramatic appeal had been made by the Greek government team of experts for people to strictly comply with the restrictions and measures, as the situation in the country's hospitals is now at a critical level following further major increases in death and the incubations in the past 24 hours. Now, official cases in hospitals hit an all-time record high of 400. The COVID ICU wards in northern hospitals of Calabria, Drama, Ceres and Exina have now reached full capacity, with no signs of the situation improving. Experts are predicting that the crisis will get even worse in the coming days before the latest lockdown starts to show any results. So it's not looking good at the moment with the ICUs, but at least he's allowing time to see results actually coming through. There was talk about this week, midweek, there would be discussions as to whether the extension would be extended or shortened. And at the moment, no decisions are going to be made by the Greek government until towards the end of the week, where they're giving time for the lockdown to take its effect. However, as it has been noted, more people have died in this lockdown than in the last lockdown, and people have been confined to their homes. Anyway, there's trouble on the buses here in Zakynthos. A little reference to the TV programme you might remember of the 1960s and 70s. With the chairman and the chairman of the board of directors of the KTEL buses, Dionis Kalaritis, has told the local press that people here on the island are only travelling when it is an emergency. He stated that the situation is the same as it was in April with the reduction of routes. He also said that last Thursday he travelled to Athens by bus, which had only 9 people going on it and only 4 people getting off in Patra. Anyway, just to remind you that a bus still leaves at 6:30 while the ferries depart at 7 a.m. The bus from Athens leaves at 1:30 to make its way back to Kalini for the 6 p.m. ferry crossing. Anyway, the only people who are allowed on the buses are obviously the employees or people who are moving for health reasons. And the KTEL director also said that the police are on all the tolls, because we have a toll system here on the roads, and every passenger must have a paper for the reason of their trip, so they just can't book out on their phone. Okay, there's no route to Thessaloniki at the moment. In fact, we haven't heard of a route to Thessaloniki in quite a while. He did say that they had thought of setting up a route at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. However, they said they can't do that now because no one is allowed to travel after 9 p.m. So if a bus did leave here at 4 o'clock, it would still be on the road on its way to Athens by 9 o'clock of that same evening. Anyway, the company has said, he's also said that the company has to be sparing now in its results. It's not possible to have 2 or more buses departing, and the buses departing with 5 people only obviously doesn't make economic sense at the moment for them. Anyway, describing what he experienced during all the months of the pandemic and also the company's finances, he said last April a bus left Zakynthos with just 1 passenger on board, and he was a soldier, and they were probably obliged to take him, otherwise he'd be AWOL. Anyway, he said what is happening is very bad for business here for KTEL, since there's no revenue coming in for the buses. But his main gripe at the moment is that they've not been offered any assistance. They've been offered loans of up to €1 million, but not been offered any assistance. He said, we don't need loans, we need financial assistance. He says at the moment we have a €1 million loss since April, and we've worked every day. We did not stop paying our obligations, and also don't forget that the bus service also runs the buses to the schools as well, and obviously with the school buses not being used, obviously that's another source of revenue for them that has gone. So we'll keep an eye on how the buses are getting on. Also as well, Greece's highest administrative court, the Council of State, or the COS, rejected an injunction yesterday submitted by the Merilis 25 party, that's Varoufakis's party. He's the former finance minister. Also, human rights groups and ordinary citizens have campaigned to have a blanket ban lifted on rallies ahead of the anniversary of the 1973 Polytechnic students' uprising, which will take place on the 17th of November, citing the public interest and protection of public health. And in fact, James just reminded me that that is today. The President, Mary Sharp, introduced the applicant's request to the court for discussion. The 4-day ban gathering on people of more than 4 persons has sparked a political controversy here, with the government sparring with the opposition parties over the legality of the measures, which was issued by the Greek police on Sunday. It has also created divisions among legal experts and bodies, with the Association of Judges and prosecutors saying that the blanket ban is illegal and calling for its withdrawal, while prominent professors of constitutional law, including Evangelos Venizelos, I remember him, I think he was the former defence minister, Nikos Ambeletos and Antis Makatakis, arguing in favour of the ban. The measure is explicitly aimed at preventing gatherings and marchings in commemoration of the 1973 uprising against the military junta who was in power at the time. Anybody caught taking part in any of those, any planned demonstrations are likely to incur fines of €300, and anybody organising it are likely to end up with a €5,000 fine. It's going to be interesting to see if the Communist Party, who've been really against it, the Greek Communist Party, will in fact actually march today. Anyway, also, Greek authorities, a little bit of a light relief now for you. Greek authorities said that on Sunday, a bust of the god Hermes was discovered in central Athens in good condition during sewage works on Friday. Yeah, the Greek cultural minister said that the head of one of the many that served as street markers in ancient Athens, which depicts Hermes at a mature age, which is actually quite rare, because normally they always depict him in his prime of youth. You might remember he looks like the Flash from the DC comics, with his little bit of wings on his helmet and wings on his heels, to depict that he was the carrier of messengers, and also the name of the radio and newspaper that I used to work for, Hermes. All right. Anyway, it was been buried in sewage. It was discovered on Sunday, and as I always said, well, if you've been buried in sewage for the last God knows how many thousand years, you're obviously going to get a bit aged from that. So anyway, that was quite interesting. Yesterday I was talking about COVID with a friend of mine, ex-Rafreg buddy, Wiggy Winstanley, and also Dennis Carroll as well. Just what the stats were for Cyprus actually throughout the pandemic. Looking at their figures yesterday, it seems that Cyprus has had 7,178 cases and only 39 deaths since the pandemic started. So their figures are a lot lower than what we have experienced here, and way, way lower than what's been experienced over in the UK. Anyway, what's happening today then? Just remind you, today is a broadcast day for me. I'm broadcasting today, Tuesday, at what will be 3 o'clock UK time, 5 p.m. Greek time, doing my show, broadcasting here live from Studio One here in Macardo. Looking at the weather, I'm wondering how good the signal's going to be with the internet, because the clouds are about, and that always seems to interfere with the internet. But if you want any requests, any dedications, drop them below in the comments. Love to hear them. And also, don't forget Jukebox Memories and also the Golden Vault today. I'm not going to say who the Golden Vault is today, so I don't want to give away the surprise, all right? So anyway, let's have a quick look who's tuning in this morning. Not many tuning in this morning. Hilary Rogers there. Nice to have you, Hilary. Nice to see you there. How is the weather where you are? Andy Owens is watching as well. Also Tallulah as well. Dennis's wife is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in as well. Dennis Patrick Carroll from Cyprus is tuning in. Nice to see you there as well, Dennis. So your figures have been a lot lower than ours here, that's for sure. Steve Hinkling in Stoke-on-Trent is watching. What's the weather like in Stoke? He says, Gallimera to you and Jane. Is the weather better there than it is here? Andy Owen is also tuning in. Nice to see you, Andy. Damien Edge is also watching as well. Dave Norton is watching. Kevin Bell is watching as well. Dennis Williams is watching. Dave Coldwell. That's Dave Coldwell, if I remember rightly, over the United States. Nice to have you tuning in. Veteran as well. I don't think he's any relation to the family. Martina Ryan is watching. Gareth Eden is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Dean Parler is watching. Hillary says no rain actually, but it's brightened a little in Pigadaccia. And if you're wondering where Pigadaccia is, that's towards the north top of the island. Nice area up around that area. Sort of nestles just in the hills, just short of Alicanaz and Alicez. Right, that's it from me. I'll be back on air this afternoon at 3 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Greek time with my weekly show, which I'm doing a bit early because it's Jane's birthday tomorrow. Anyway, you take care. You have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Ta-ra. Oh, also a big shout out to Maureen as well, who's looking in as well. Catch you later. Ta-ra.